So tikkun olam for me is, the technical answer is repairing the universe or the world, but it really is about trying to do good deeds. I mean, so you can have a full picture of the world, or you can have your next door neighbor or your family. So to me, it means about doing good deeds, because it really is kind of taking you away from the everyday world, and you do a good deed. And you're focused on doing something good for somebody. And for me, it doesn't have to be big. It can be small. And particularly in these times where it's so difficult to watch the news, doing good deeds can distract you from the real sad news that we're here for today. So who inspires me today? I think the current president of Israel is an inspirational leader. I think Isaac Herzog, who has had a wonderful history of, from his grandfather being the first chief rabbi of Israel, to his father who was president of the country, to leading the Labor Party, then leading the Jewish Agency, now president of the country. To see him and his wife Michal, who are so different than previous presidents of Israel, out there in the battleground every day, both in the public sphere and in the private sphere and online, and going to visit the families of the hostages and those who have been bereaved, and then being on television. He's an inspirational leader for all of us in the Jewish world today. And in America, sadly, it's really hard to find somebody who's that inspirational today. But of course, you're always been inspired by your predecessors in various roles, and hopefully your parents have been a good role model for you, and mine certainly were for me. So if you sit there and say, how do you advise somebody today, especially particularly young leaders, it would always be present in the moment and show up. I think what happens is when you're younger and have a lot of passion, but you don't know how to channel that passion in the right direction, or you find that you're trying to influence some outcome and nobody's listening to you, I think you have to understand that you have to keep showing up. Nobody's waiting for you. So the world moves on, and it's moving with or without you. So to some degree, you have to force your way in. And so I would tell all leaders and all future leaders that don't walk away from systems that are designed to keep you away. If you really have a passion to make a difference, and you see the place in which that can be inspirational for you, and your talents can reward that organization, one, keep showing up, no matter how hard they try to chase you away. So for me, having had so many different philanthropic leadership roles, the current job you always have should be the most inspirational, otherwise don't take the job. So certainly the Maccabi World Union, where I am now leading that organization from a volunteer standpoint, has certain facets that are more fun than things that I've done. But probably the most meaningful is the Jewish Agency for Israel. It is the organization where their leadership founded the state of Israel. So David Ben-Gurion, Golda Meir, all the icons of the history of Israel are the Jewish Agency for Israel. And it's a global organization that has an impact on Jews of the world, particularly in Israel. It is much bigger and more complicated than most people know, because they go, oh, it's great, but nobody knows what it really does. So from old age homes to all absorption, the Jewish Agency is in charge still of all Aliyah, all immigration, and is certainly responsible for many of the early border towns of Israel. They founded literally every single town, and what they do in terms of providing shlichut and shlichim to come and be Israelis inspirational in your town, our town. Cleveland has a wonderful shlichut program here, and it is so much bigger than people realize. But the impact that it has on the Jewish world was probably the most meaningful.